November 18th, 2016. I was going to begin the day a little earlier, of more of like a vlogging type of thing instead of a recap like the Marissa Meyer signing, but today I'm in a little bit of a hurry because I'm going to the Cassandra Clare signing today for Tales from Shadowhunter Academy. I just got off the train. It was a short train ride, and now I'm in Tribeca, and I'm on my way to the Barnes & Noble in Tribeca. I went there earlier in the day. I got there at like 10 to get my book and my wristband, and I was planning on going back around like 3:30, and I'm like, oh, plenty of time. I get there, right? And then there's already a line around the block waiting for the signing, and it's at 6, so that's great. So I was like, oh my goodness, I had no problem getting the wristband, getting the book, that's fine. But then I was like, oh my god, I have to rush back to my dorm, get ready right away, and that's a waste of like 2-3 hours because of the train ride. But I'm back now. It's, I think it's 1 o'clock now, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm walking there, and I'm gonna get online. I got my Starbucks, I got a venti, because I need to be energized. I might have to pee, so that'll suck that I can't pee for like 6 hours. And I also got a snack from Starbucks, so I don't die of starvation. I'm not gonna be able to have lunch. And I got my book, I have the camera, as you can see, all my provisions, I'm ready to go, and I'll let you know how the day goes. And yeah, let's begin. I'm so excited to meet Cassie for the first time. I'm so excited because Alberto is going to be there, and I love him, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I see him, but yeah, let the festivities begin. We'll see how this goes. My arm hurts, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. This is Lily. Hi. She's a new YouTuber. What's your channel?
The NYC Fangirl.
The NYC Fangirl. Go follow her, guys.
Thank you.
She's super sweet. I made more friends, so here they are. Everybody say hi.
Okay, yeah. Like one guy that's
Okay. I'm so happy I made more friends. Okay, so you saw Lily, and then there's Sophia, and Kat, and Sydney, and Dee. Dee's lovely, and Danielle. Yeah.
You remembered all their names?
I did! I remembered everybody's names. I'm so proud of myself. That never happens. Yeah.
Emma coming to the series.
Yes, Emma's coming. I love her so much. Emma, hi, if you see this. I don't know.
Hi, Emma.
Yeah.
That camera's like all the way over there.
Ah, sorry.
We love you, Emma.
Yeah, I wish I had a viewfinder. That would be great. Oh well. I know. I love this camera. It's just no viewfinder. But yeah, we're eating right now. We have people saving our seats. We are alternating, and it's a good time so far. Okay, so update. When I thought the line was really long for like to get seating, it was actually to buy the book. Oh yeah, wait, I mentioned that earlier, but it was actually but it was actually to buy the book, so I accidentally skipped. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. So I accidentally skipped a lot of people to get the book, but it's okay. So now I'm back, and like the line isn't that long right now. So just chilling for like how many? What time is it? It's 1:38. So just chilling for like 5 more hours.
I love you.
Thank you.
You are so cute.
Stop it. Okay, bye. Okay, so what time is it? It is 3:10. I've been here for about 2 hours now, and we have about 1 more hour until we can actually sit down for the event. And the event starts at 6. Now we're in the bathroom because, you know, girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do. And yeah, so just been waiting still. We're like taking turns outside and inside. Yeah, it's a tag team effort. And now more people got out of the bathroom. Oh, you haven't seen Zuzu yet. That's Zuzu. Okay. That's it for now. Bye-bye. We are back outside, and the line is extremely long. Mine's posted. Yeah, it's pretty long. It's now 4 o'clock, and kind of getting a little tired, a little hungry, but I'm alright. The line's pretty long. How are we feeling?
Okay so far.
Alright, yeah. Oh my god. Dee doesn't want to go, but that's okay. Kat, how are you? Are you tired?
I think I'm okay.
Okay, good.
I did some work. I read a little bit, had food. So I think,
being productive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Time kind of flew by.
Yeah, it kind of did. Even though you've been here longer than I have. But,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How are we all feeling? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How are you?
Tired.
Yep. You?
I'm still very tired.
We're all tired. We're gonna get in soon though, so it's okay.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. It's Cassie, so it's worth it.
Yeah. And Alberto.
And Alberto. Alberto. I'm gonna die. I can't. Okay, we just started sitting down. We're in the third row. There's everybody over here. We got very lucky right now. I'm tired, but now I get to sit, which is good. I got to take my jacket off. I'm happy, chilling. Got 2 more hours, but that's okay. We're having a good time. We're all right.
We're okay.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it. We're good. All right, bye. So, there you go. Hi. We'll try not to. So while we're waiting for our phones to charge, what are we doing?
We are looking at the surprising and delightful gifts section. Are they surprising and delightful? Yeah, they're very surprising and delightful. So, for example, 642 tiny things to write about. There's like thank you notes and things like that.
With focus, that'd be good. Okay, there's 1 minute left. We have 1 minute till we start. 1 minute. 1 minute, everybody. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Great. Let's give a big warm welcome to Crystal Bell, Alberto Rosente, and Cassandra Clare.
This is so exciting. I love this book from Simon's POV, which personally I love reading, and I'm sure for you, Cassie, it's a nice sort of change of pace to dive into Simon's brain.
Yeah.
What an odd little brain.
I mean, a little bit. It was really fun to do. Simon, I felt like, was one of the only characters who was sort of left at the end of Mortal Instruments with a slight sense of unresolvedness. Especially in the sense that he didn't remember his girlfriend or anybody else. And I was like, well, we can't leave him like that. So my friends Maureen Johnson, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Rob Rosserman are like some of the biggest Simon fans in the whole world. Maureen has always referred to my books as City of Simon. They had worked on the Bane Chronicles with me, so they were like, come on, you know, we've really got to do something equal for Simon. And so we came, but Magnus has lived for hundreds of years. Simon has lived for 17 years. So we knew we couldn't do the same kind of jumping through time structure. So we decided to center it around Simon's time at the academy and sort of how he grows and changes.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I should have thought of it.
2 reasons why I haven't read it. First is every time I went somewhere to buy it, it was always sold out. Always. Like, it's just my luck. And then second, I'm waiting for, like, now that we're almost done shooting season 2A. We're so close. I'm gonna reread all 6, and then I want to go straight into it. Because that, you know, when you get momentum into the series, you're like, oh, I have to keep going. You have to, and then now it's gonna just like, and then season 2B, I'm excited. So.
Oh my god.
But let's talk about where Simon's journey ended, because you read the original 6, and I know you had a very visceral reaction to Simon's sort of
I told
ending.
Cassie that.
Oh no.
So maybe you guys agree with me, but when you're reading that part of the book and you finally get there and then you see what happens to Simon, immediately you kind of look up and you're like, no fucking way. And then you're like, no. So you go back and you read the finish, and then you're like, no. So then I got very upset to the point where I read it 3 times. No, and I just threw my book, and I stood up and I started like ranting to my friend who was like sitting next to me, and he was reading his own book, and I was like, you gotta put that down for a second. You gotta let me know. He was like, what? I'm like, this whole time, Simon has been there. He's been the person. He took everything away. He's like, what do you mean?
So true.
And I'm like, she took away Clary? Finally we get Isabel. She's gone too. And he finally, all the experience and the confidence and the growth that he experiences through all 6 books to become this amazing person that we're all like, whoa, Simon, gone! So I was a little upset.
Just a little, but that's okay because we have Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy.
And I feel like it's I've been working on Lord of Shadows, and it has this very strong, like, you know, how do you fight your government when your government is a bad government when there are groups within your government that are literally like in the book saying things like, we gotta make Shadowhunters great again, let's get rid of all the No, I don't even it was really weird because I wrote it like a year ago, and all that this stuff has been going on for a long time. But like when the election stuff came in, my husband came and woke me up, and he was like, "Well, there's bad news. There's a lot of bad news, and the good news is that Lord of Shadows is a very topical book." And I was like, "Wow, weird." And Alberto and I were actually talking about this in the car on the way over, that the claim sucks, and they're they're a bad government, and that really the arc of all of these books is how to fix and change that bad government from within. But Simon in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, coming from the way that they teach Shadowhunters, the whole idea of splitting them into different categories, the dregs and the experienced Shadowhunters, and what it means for him, and how he learns about it's really how he learns about that. It's a way of, I think, for Simon to mature as a person. That was really interesting to me. Isabel and Clary, and does love Jace in their own special way. I'm sure they love each other, and all the other, and Alec and Magnus, and these are all people in his life that he cares about. But they all know who he was before. They have expectations of him, what he's going to be like. They have an expectation of a specific kind. Simon, that Simon doesn't remember. He's like, I don't remember that guy. And so with George, he can just be like, I am the guy that I am in this moment, and this guy's just met me, so he doesn't have any preconceived notions about who I am.
Yeah. And for you, Alberto, I mean, I guess you don't have the experience from the book to pull from, but you do have the experience on the show, and it's kind of like mirroring where he is going into season 2, right?
Very much so, yeah.
He's kind of lost.
He's in a constant place of self-discovery, where he was figuring out how to work in this whole shadow world, and then it gets flipped upside down, he becomes a vampire. And then it's like, oh crap, I have to figure out how to be a vampire now. And then, I can't say much, but a lot of stuff happens where he's constantly in this place where you constantly have to figure out, where do I sit in this now? Which I think is life, almost, though. You're always kind of figuring out where you are again, and doing it again, and trying to figure it out now, and then, oh, well, this new thing just happened to me, so now I have to figure that out and how it affects me. I don't know. But
I mean, I feel like, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like Simon's such a fundamentally decent person. He approaches everything with this kind of decency.
absolutely.
And so
I think that's one of the things that kind of make him able to maneuver very well through these things.
yeah.
Is the fact that he is someone that's a very good person, and because of that, he has his very strong moral compass always helps him get there.
And but he also has to sort of maintain how do you maintain being a good person in the face of all of these challenges.
Yeah.
And I always think that that's a really interesting facet of Simon, because it's it's really fundamental to who he is.
Like trails of glitter follow.
You can't find him. You just look for him. Oh no, he went to the gym. Harry's always in the gym. So it's like, is he at the gym? No. Then he's probably in his trailer. No, he's probably good.
See, very early on in Shadowhunter Academy, Simon's sort of talking about his mother, his family. We all know, having read it, Simon tries to go home at some point, and that doesn't work out originally, and then she doesn't remember, but things happen. But I hear from the showrunners that maybe that scene's gonna appear in season 2.
Yeah.
Simon definitely starts to deal with that familial struggle. How do I try to maintain a good relationship with my mother and my sister when he's never home, or when he only goes out at night and he sleeps all day, or how he doesn't really eat at dinner. Kind of just sits there, and then she's really worried, and she's like the overprotective Jewish mother that needs to he goes through a lot with that, and we will see some of that.
One of the things in the book is there's a tiny piece of Simon that remembers, right?
Oh, yeah.
He dreams, he kind of remembers things sometimes, he feels a loss, like
it's
an
almost like he has
emptiness.
deja vu sometimes. He was like, I remember this thing, but I was never in some demonic realm.
Yeah, I'm really pretty sure that I wasn't fighting huge turtle demons. Then it turns out he was, which is not usually what happens in this situation.
Yo, I had this weird dream I was a vampire.
But I feel like he's missing that piece, and then Magnus comes up and gives him this speech, which to me was your important speech, where he's like, you were badass and you did all these amazing things, and you should have the chance to choose to do that thing that again. You should have the chance to choose that life. You don't have to have it. It's up to you.
It was super cool.
And that carries into Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I mean, the first line I think is he doesn't know how to act like a badass, or he doesn't know.
He's like, I've packed. Maybe I should throw like a huge Bowie knife on top of it. But like, yeah, he's not like he knows he knows intellectually that he was this badass and did all of these things that people have been telling him.
It's kind of like what we were talking about just now, sense memory.
But right.
A lot of it was like, well, I used to, this feels right. Being with this group of people feels the same. I'm getting feelings that I didn't know I had, because I should know these people, but they're very real, they're very,
Yeah, exactly. I think because when you talk about sense memory, you're talking about the unconscious part of your brain, right? And so in the unconscious part of his brain, he remembers these things, but in the conscious part of his brain, he's struggling with who he is and what people expect of him and what he expected. And we obviously have a very complicated tangle of relationships, as always, because I can't, start a story without tangling all the relationships up. Makes me happy, but we start off with a situation where Emma is trying to come back to some kind of sense of normalcy after the events of Lady Midnight, and she's separated from Julian in the sense they're not really talking, and she's kind of dating Mark, and things are kind of weird. And then someone shows up from Ferry and says to Mark, Kieran, if you remember Kieran, Mark's on again, off again boyfriend. He murdered a fairy, and so he's going to be killed. What? So if you want him not to die, you're all going to have to journey into Fairy to rescue him. And they're like, that asshole? But they're Shadowhunters. They do have a moral obligation. And so we have our Shadowhunters who have to journey into Fairy to rescue Kieran. We also have the rise of a company called the Cohort, or a part of the Clave, who believe that Downward's rights should be restricted. There should be a registry of werewolves and warlocks.
Oh my god.
You predicted everything.
Is this X-Men?
Right? I was like, wait a second. They're awful. And they represent like the worst part of the Clave as they start coming down on our main characters. Mark's half fairy. We've got a lot of, people who are involved and friends with downworlders and stuff like that. And so we all have this journey to Fairy, and we also have this sort of battling of the bad aspect of the government of the Shadowhunters. Maybe I'll just pop up my
Wait, can we do this? Can we make this cool?
Yeah.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. Everyone, we're gonna start with like a. Okay. Come on, give me something.
Okay.
Let's start with like a low, like. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
All right, ready?
You gorgeous book! I love your gorgeous book!
What inspired you to write this series?
Honestly, I had just moved to New York, and I had a crappy job working for the National Enquirer. It was the one I wanted to do, and I always loved fantasy, and I was with a friend of mine. I don't know if she's here today. Her name is Valerie, and she took me downtown to a place where she had worked as a tattoo artist. And she started talking to me about tattoos, history of tattoos, and how, in cultures like across the world, people believed they had magical powers, that these marks on their skin could protect them. And I was sort of thinking about how universal mythology is, how in cultures that have never connected with each other, we find the same myths, the same people, things that people care about. And I thought, this is a really significant one. You change your appearance, you change your skin, you change your powers and your magic, and that appealed to me so much. It started to develop the idea of Shadowhunters, and that started developing the idea of this magical group of people who lived in New York and protected it from evil and whatnot. And so that was how it started. It took me about.
Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't really get to record the rest of the event, but I got to talk to Alberto and Cassie, and now we're going to dinner. He was so cute. I love him so much. And want him to marry me, please. Anyway, now we're going to dinner. Harlequin glasses.
Wait, no. That's the right handle. It's a Saurus Rex.
Yeah. Follow them all.
It's me again. Today is the day after the event. Now it's November 19th, and yeah, I just wanted to do an outro for my vlog. I had such a great time. It was amazing. I wish I got to record everything that happened at the event. My camera died like midway through the Q&A with Cassie and Alberto, but it was such a good time. There were so many cool questions and people, and I made so many new friends. Thank you to everybody who I met for talking to me and not making me feel so alone. It was just such a crazy experience. Alberto is so wonderful and sweet, and Cassie is everything I hoped she would be. She said she thought my hat was cute, and I was like, oh, you're cute. And she was like, she laughed. She was like, thanks. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, I got a lot of pictures taken. Those will be on Instagram. Also, I downloaded the BookCon app, which is a thing, which I didn't know about, and I'm probably going to BookCon this year for the first year now, because I have people to go with, which is really exciting. Yeah, so thanks to everybody I met. Oh gosh, so many people. If I don't remember everybody, I apologize, but okay, so I met, thank you to Sydney, Danielle, Dee, Lily, Sophia, Petra, Stella, Neelan, Kat, Jade, and Frank. And Frank is hilarious. He was amazing. I love you all. I think that's everybody. Okay. Sorry if I forgot anybody right now. And I got to see Emma again, which was great. She commented on my outfit again, like my hat, which was super sweet of her. It was so good to see her. Emma, if you're watching, it was really good to see you. It was such a fun night, and then we got Shake Shack after. I will link everybody who has a YouTube channel in the description below, so you should go check them out, because they're awesome. Yeah, no, I have a bunch of bookish friends, and it made me feel really good, and it was just a great night overall, so thanks for watching this mini vlog. I'm gonna take a nap now, because I'm kind of exhausted. It was a long day. And yeah, so I will see you sooner rather than later with a new video. Bye! Oh my god, so I've been editing and I completely forgot that there was a trivia game, and they'd ask questions about the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and some of them were very detailed. And they'd say, okay, so if you get this question right, whoever raises their hand and whoever they pick, if they get the question right, then they get some swag. Some of the swag they were handing out were tote bags, keychains, a sweatshirt, like a Shadowhunter sweatshirt. Oh, I wish I got it, but a sweatshirt, and 3 exclusive posters, and the tarot cards. And everybody knows about the tarot cards, like the ones that are drawn by Cassandra Jean, and they're beautiful. And they were like part of the newer version where the people, like the characters from the Dark Artifices and the Last Hours, are in the deck too. Amazing. But one of the questions was, who are the 4 members in Simon's band? And lucky me for always going on the Shadowhunter Wikia to remember all the names, because I usually forget them and I want to keep track of everything when new books come out. I knew the names, so I raised my hand really high, and guess what? They picked me, and I was like, well, Simon, obviously. Excuse me. And then I said there was Matt and Eric, and Kurt's is the name that I always forget, so I was so nervous when I said it, but I was like, and Kurt? And she was like, that's it? And I was like, yeah! And everybody like got freaked out, because they're like, oh my god, I would have never guessed that, like, you go. And I was getting high fives. I felt like a champion. I'm like, yeah, I know the names of the 4 irrelevant characters. No, they're not irrelevant, but the 4 like mundane characters in the series, like the only mundanes that are really featured in the books, which was really funny, or at least in the Mortal Instruments. And yes, I won the tarot cards, and I wanted to show you them, and like, it's a little darker now, but we have the ambiance of my pretty lights. Okay, so here are the cards. Aren't they so pretty? Well, you haven't seen them yet, so I'm gonna show you how pretty they are. So it starts with the Shadowhunter tarot cards, with Clary featured, and here's the back of them. Beautiful. That's what the backs of all of them look like. And we have like the Ace of Runes for Jason Clary. I'll show some examples. Emma and her dad, John Carstairs. What else do we have? We have the Knight of Blades for Jonathan Morgenstern, or Sebastian. And what else do we have? Oh, this one with Julian, the Two of Steels, with the creepy drawings of Emma. And what else? Oh, and here we have Emma herself
What other ones? Oh, let me see. What I really like a lot of them. They're all so pretty. Oh, there is Simon and Izzy, Tessa, Will, and Jen. Probably one of my favorites. Yeah. But here's an example of one of the Last Hours characters featured in the deck. Here's Cordelia, and there's James and Lucy, who are Will and Tessa's kids. Beautiful, and like, I love it. I love it so much. They're all just so beautiful. I can't get over it, and I'm messing them all up, but I just want to show you them. Here they all are. Beautiful. Oh, Izzy. Honestly, Cassandra Jean always amazes me with her beautiful work, but yeah, that's it.
Just wanted to show you. So now I'm gonna go. All right, bye guys. Two more hours till Cassie. We're waiting. We just got in and sat inside. I've been outside for like 5 hours. It's good. It's great.
We eventually figured out we have an amazing night. We probably might not even ever leave the apartment. It would start with like 6 hours of maybe like Halo.
We just finished